Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Lion Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be fighting a kill team battle between my Dark Angels and Harris's Deathwatch. Well, my Deathwatch, but Harris is running them. So the story that we've got going on here is that this was a Dark Angels force that was sent to a planet to go take care of a Genestealer cult infestation that was on there. And during the process of purging the alien on this planet, this force of Primaris Marines had lost contact for a bit with their headquarters, and when they came back, they just said that the mission had gone according to plan and really didn't have much of an answer as to why they had lost communications with them, raising some red flags that ended up getting back to the Deathwatch, who believed that they may have been infected by the Genestealer cult and the Genestealer brood that was on there. So they decided that better than to take the chance that they could get back and spread the infection and the problem, that they would go and take them out as quietly as possible without causing too much of a problem. So we are going to be playing our own mission that we just made up. I think there's ones that are similar in here, but we're just going to do basically kill points. So what we're going to have is each of our leaders is going to be worth 3 points, each of our specialists is going to be worth 2 points, and each of our regular dude bros is going to be worth 1 point. So that is the story. That is the mission that we're going to be playing. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams. So for the Dark Angels, my kill team will consist of, from left to right, an Intercessor Sergeant, who will be my leader. He is going to have an Auspex and a bolt rifle. I then have an Intercessor Gunner with a auxiliary grenade launcher. He will be my Sniper Specialist. He also has a Stalker Pattern bolt gun. We then have a Reaver Sergeant with a heavy bolt pistol and combat knife grapnel launcher. He will be my Combat Specialist. We have another Reaver with heavy bolt pistol, combat knife, and grapnel launcher. I then have a regular Intercessor with a bolt rifle and a Reaver with grapnel launcher and a bolt carbine. And for the Deathwatch, his kill team will consist of, from left to right, a Watch Sergeant with a Xenophase Blade and a Bolter. We then have a Black Shield with a Power Sword and Bolter. He will be his Combat Specialist. We have a Veteran with a Heavy Thunderhammer, who will be his Veteran Specialist. We then have a Veteran Gunner with a Frag Cannon, who will be his Sniper Specialist, and a second Veteran Gunner with a Frag Cannon. All right, so those are the kill teams going over deployment. I've got my Sniper Specialist up on the top floor over here. I've got my leader down below him. And down on the floor, I have my regular Reaver with the bolt carbine. Over here, I've got my Combat Specialist, Reaver Sergeant. I've got my Reaver Veteran Specialist over here in the middle. And then I've got my regular Intercessor on the right side over there. Going over deployment for the Deathwatch here. We've got both of his frag cannon bros up on top over here. We've got the Intercessor Sergeant, the Veteran Sergeant down on the ground over here. We've got the Black Shield over here, and we have the Veteran Specialist with the Heavy Thunderhammer over on the side over there. So that is the deployment. We will now roll off to see who has initiative going into turn 1. I roll a double 6. Can't really beat that, but you can only hope to tie. He gets half it. So we will come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My Sniper Specialist readied himself. My leader readied himself. So did my Intercessor over here, and all 3 of my Reavers advanced up over that direction. So that is it for movement for the Dark Angels. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Deathwatch. All right, movement phase for the Deathwatch here on turn 1. Both of his gunners here readied themselves. His Sergeant and the Black Shield both moved up into cover over here, and his Veteran Specialist over here with the Heavy Thunderhammer advanced up to that position. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so we're going to start off with my Sniper Specialist shooting into his Sniper Specialist. I'm going to be shooting the bolt rifle, the Stalker Pattern bolt rifle. So it's going to be 1 shot, hitting on. It's -1 to hit because he's more than half range, but he is also has the Auspex from the leader down here, so he's going to be ignoring the obstruction penalty there. So it's going to be hitting on a 4. Rerolling ones because of him being a sniper. I was almost very upset at myself. Into a hit. There we go. I'll take that. Strength 4, toughness 4. Looking for a 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP -2 because it's stalker pattern bolt gun. So looking for a 5 up. Yes. That is a 5. He's good. All right, so now my opponent's sniper is going to fire into my leader down here. He is going to spend 1 command point on Decapitation Doctrine, which allows him to reroll wounds against my leader. So he is going to be firing the shells version for his gun here. So it's going to be 2 shots, -1. What is that?
I'm also going to spend a command point on Careful Aim.
And he's also going to spend a command point on Careful Aim, which is, what's that do? +1 to hit. So he's going to be -1 to hit for range. He's going to be -1 to hit because of obstruction, but he's going to be +1 to hit because of Careful Aim with the Sniper Specialist. So this is going to be 2 shots, hitting on 4s, rerolling ones. Getting 1 hit. This is going to be strength 7. So looking for a 3 to wound.
Rerolling anything?
Rerolling anything. Nope, that is a wound. AP -2. AP -2, so looking for a 5 up save. He's good with a fell face. Woo! And now my leader down here is going to fire into his Sniper Specialist. I'm going to have 1 shot at this range. -1 to hit because of range, -1 to hit because of obstruction. So hitting on a 5. Not rerolling anything. Nope, not a hit. Then his other gunner there is going to fire into my leader. So he's going to have 2 shots hitting on 5s. Getting no hits. And then my regular guy down here with the bolt rifle is going to fire into his leader. He's within half range, 15 inches, but he's going to be obscured, so 2 shots hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, strength 4, looking for a 4 to wound. No wound. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Into a 4, so that's AP -1, so looking for a 4 up save. Oh, he's good. All right, so now his leader is going to shoot into my Reaver Sergeant through this little hole there. He is within half range. He's going to use the Vengeance rounds, which cuts back the range of the weapon to 18 inches because it's -6 inches to his range on his bolter, but he's within 9 inches, which is still half range for Vengeance rounds. So he is going to have 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s, though, because he is obscured. Getting 1 hit. This is going to be strength 4, so looking for 4 to wound. That is a wound. AP -2, so looking for a 5 up save. No, goes through, takes a wound. And now his Black Shield here is going to fire into my other Reaver over here. He's going to use the Hellfire rounds. So these are going to have 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's obscured. Getting no hits. All right, so that is the end of round 1. We will now roll off to see, because there's no tests that need to be taken, so we will now roll off to see who has the initiative going into turn 2. I rolled a 6. My opponent rolled a 5, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. Turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My Sniper Specialist readied, so did my leader, and so did my Intercessor over here. My Reaver over here, he has a grapnel launcher, so he just moved up his 6 inches over this way. And then that, they are the ones who are going to be moving and readying. These 2 guys are going to be charging. So we're going to start with my Combat Specialist with my Reaver Sergeant. He is going to charge into both his leader and his Black Shield. So we'll have now Overwatch from the only one who can see him is going to be his leader there. So it's going to be 2 shots here, hitting on 6s. Nothing hit there. So needing a 7-inch charge to make it in. He makes it in. Nice. And then my other Reaver is going to charge just into his leader. He's going to go just for the leader. So needing an 8-inch charge to make this one. Not making it. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Still doesn't make it. All right, movement phase for the Deathwatch here on turn 2. His Combat Specialist Black Shield is going to ready himself. His veteran over here, his veteran, advanced up over there. His 2 gunners ready themselves, and his leader is stuck in combat. So we will come back to you now with the shooting phase. All right, so now my sniper is going to start off by shooting into his sniper, taking the auspex from the leader. So it's going to be 1 shot hitting on a 4. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. AP -2. No, that goes through. So that's going to be 1 damage. So it's going to be a roll needing a because he's -1 to hit. -1 from the guy with the
He's in cover.
He's in cover, and it's close with him there. So it's going to be looking for a, basically looking for a 5-up. No, so he takes a wound. And then his sniper specialist is going to use careful aim and decapitation doctrine to shoot into my leader over here. So he's going to have his 2 shots here, hitting on 4s. Getting 2 hits. Strength looking for 3s to wound. Getting no wounds. Oh, re-rolling because of decapitation doctrine. Well paid points there. So that is going to be 2 wounds.
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2, so looking for 5-ups. Making neither of them, so that's going to take him down to 0. So it's going to be this. They're 2 damage apiece, so it's just going to be 2 damage rolls here. Yep. He is out. And now my intercessor here is going to fire into his sniper up here, so he's more than half range. So it's going to be hitting on a 5. That is not a hit. All right, so now his other gunner here is going to fire into my Reaver up on top here. He's going to have 2 shots. This is hitting on 4s because it's -1 because of range. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on 3. That's a wound.
-2.
-2 becomes 5-up. No, goes through. 2 damage, so that's going to take him down. Let's see. And he is out. All right, so now his black shield is going to fire into my sniper specialist up over here. So it's going to be 1 shot hitting on a 5. No hit. All right, so that's it for the shooting into the fight phase. My Reaver Sergeant with the combat specialist is going to attack in here. He's got 3 attacks base, +1 for the combat knife, +1 because of being a combat specialist. So it's going to be 5 attacks hitting on 3s. All right, all but 1 hit. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP nothing, 3-up save. He's good. All right, so now his sergeant's going to attack back. He's got 3 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP -3. So this is going to be looking for a 6-up save. Yeah, with the filthers. Woo! All right, so since I'm running these guys as just basic Astartes, I'm going to spend 2 command points on Honor the Chapter to allow my my Reaver there to attack again into him. So I'm going to have 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 4 hits, wounding on 4s, getting 2 wounds this time, so 2 3-up saves. Oh, he's good.
No.
All right, so that is going to be the end of turn 2 here. No one has to take any tests because none of my guys have any flesh wounds. He's got 1 flesh wounded guy, but he's got no one out, so he'll be fine. And his bro's right there. Everything's good for him. Bruh, I got your back. So they're good over here. So at the end of the turn, though, we do have to roll to see who will have the initiative going into turn 3. I roll a 6, my opponent 7, my opponent rolls a 9, so we will come back to you after movement phase for the Deathwatch. All right, movement phase for the Deathwatch here on turn 3. His 2 gunners readied themselves. His sergeant stayed in combat over here, and his veteran double timed it under the building over here. So now his black shield is going to charge into my Reaver sergeant over here. So that is going to get him in.
Use the chest.
And now movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My guy is going to stay in combat over here because he has to get charged. Regular Intercessor and the Sniper Specialist are both going to ready themselves. And my Reaver over here, my Veteran Specialist, is going to charge into his Black Shield over here. So I need an 8-inch charge to make it in. Making it in with a double filthers. All right, so now his Sniper Specialist is going to start us off in the shooting phase. He's going to spend 1 command point on steady aim, and he is going to fire into my Sniper Specialist. So he's going to have 2 shots here, hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 3. That is a wound, AP -2, so 5-up save. No, goes through, 2 damage. So that's 2 damage, so it's going to be 2, just trying to knock him out here again. Gets him out. And now my Intercessor is going to fire into his Veteran over here. He's within half range, so I'm going to have 2 shots here. These are going to be hitting on 4s, though, because he is obscured. Getting 2 hits with fill faces. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. Looking for 3-up saves. Fails both of them, so we have to take 1 roll because it's 1 damage here. And he is out. And now his gunner is going to fire into my Intercessor over here. He is going to be hitting on 5s. Getting 2 hits. That's how you do it. Looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. Looking for 2 5-up saves. Getting one of them, but fail the other. It doesn't make a difference because it's 2 damage, and that is out of action. All right, so now into the fight phase. His Black Shield is going to attack everything into my Reaver Sergeant over here. So he's going to have 4 attacks plus 1 because he's the combat specialist. 3 attacks plus 1 because he's the combat specialist. So it's going to be 4 attacks hitting on 3s, getting 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s, getting no wounds. And now my veteran specialist is going to attack into his Black Shield there. He's got 2 attacks base, plus 1 for the combat knife, plus 1 because he's a veteran sergeant on the charge. Veteran specialist on the charge. So there's going to be 4 attacks hitting on 3s. All right, getting 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting nothing.
Yep.
And now I'm going to spend 1 command point for up and at him with my combat specialist and activate him after I activated my veteran sergeant. So he is a veteran specialist, not sergeant. He is going to attack into his sergeant there. So I'm going to have 5 attacks again from him. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Getting 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting no wounds. And now his sergeant's going to attack into my Reaver Sergeant there. So it's going to have 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That's all hits. Wounding on 4s.
No death falls under, though.
Yeah. Getting 1 wound. Looking for a 6-up. Go, and I make it with a fill phase. Woo! All right, so that's the end of turn 3 or 4. Was that 3? 3. Turn 3 here. So I have to roll now because I've lost 4 of my 6 guys to see if I break. So highest leadership there is my sergeant with an 8. And I make it, so I'm good to go with that. I don't have to take any tests because any nerve tests because no one has any flesh wounds. So that is going to be it for the turn. Let's see who will have the initiative going to the next turn. I have rolled an 11, and my opponent rolls a 3. So I believe that's probably to my advantage. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, so for the Dark Angels, I'm just going to try to stay in combat here. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Deathwatch.
I just shoot for some reason.
All right, and now my opponent has decided to fall back with both his Black Shield and his Sergeant there and readied his 2 gunners. So we'll come back to you after with the shooting phase here now in turn 4. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, his readied Sniper Specialist is going to shoot into my Sergeant over here. So he's going to spend a command point on Careful Aim, which will put him back down to 2 command points. I've got 1 command point left. These are going to be hitting on 2s because of Careful Aim, because he's within half range, and he is minus within half range and plus 1 because of Careful Aim. Rerolling 1 because of the sniper. Not meant to happen. And you got 1 hit here. This is strength 9, so wounding on a 2. That's a wound. AP minus 3. So looking for a 6-up serve. Show me that fill first. No fill face there. So 2 damage. So here we go. Let's see if he's out.
He's out. Not obscured.
Not obscured, but he's within 1 second. Yeah, the 4 will take him out. And then my guy now is going to fire into his sergeant because his guy up here can't actually see him where he's placed. So my guy over here is going to fire into his sergeant. Since he didn't fall back, he's just going to shoot him. Yeah, so here we go. It's going to be 1 shot hitting on a 1 shot with the heavy bolt pistol hitting on a 4 because he's obscured. That is a hit with a fill face. This is going to be wounding on a 4. Whoop, no wound there. I'm going to spend a command point. No. We're all good. It was not like you planned it. So I'm going to spend my last command point, though, to re-roll that.
Back into a 2. That 2 is meant.
All right, so it's the end of turn 4. I'm now going to roll to see if I break. I do not break. So just like Cadia, the planet will break before it will fall before the Dark Angels. Will break before the Dark Angels. So we now have to roll 1 die to see if we go on to a turn 5. That is cocked.
That's super cocked.
That's impressive. We do. So now we have to roll to see who has initiative going into this said turn 5. I rolled a 6. My opponent rolled a 7. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Deathwatch here on turn turn 5. All right, so movement phase. His gunner down here moved down into the window over here. This guy up here readied himself, or just I should say, just moved up over into to get a closer shot into the window there. And now we're going to have some charges. So his black shield is going to charge into my veteran sergeant, my veteran Reaver over there. So this is going to be a shock grenade, so a grenade D3. So look, oh man, I wish that was a hit. So it's going to be 3 shots here, looking for 6s to hit. Getting a hit, so he is going to be blinded with a shock grenade. So he's going to be, but we'll see if he makes the charge here. He does make it in, and his sergeant's going to charge in over here, and he makes it in. All right, so no one can shoot since my only guy left is in combat now. So we're going to start with his sergeant in the charge phase here, or the fight phase here. So he's going to have 3 attacks here, hitting on 3s, getting no hits. And the black shield's got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s because of the shock grenade, getting 1 hit, getting no wound.
Wow.
All right, so now my Reaver here is going to attack back into his sergeant. He's got 3 attacks because he didn't charge. He's the veteran, so it's going to have 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. No wound. All right, so that's the end of the turn. So now we will roll to see who has, to see if we go, well, first I have to see if I break. I do, in fact, break, so I have to take a nerve test with him. 4 plus 5 is 9, so definitely a break. Rerolling because of and they shall know no fear. Into a 1, which means he did not, he's not nervous. He's good to go on that. So let's see if we go on to a turn 6. We do. So we'll come, now we have to roll to see who has initiative going into this turn. 9 to 6, so I will go first. Okay. Once again, I think I see where this is going. All right, so movement phase for him is just going to be to stay in combat, and then we'll come back to you with the movement phase for the Deathwatch. All right, so his black shield and his sergeant both fell back out of combat with my Reaver here, and readied his 2 gunners. Of course, that's going to be painful. So we'll come back to you with his shooting phase. All right, so now his sniper specialist is going to fire into my Reaver to start us off here. He's got 2 shots with careful aim, so hitting on 2s. That is going to be 2 hits, wounding on 2s. That is 2 wounds, 2 6-up saves. That seems very appropriate. 2 damage, so. And he is out of action. And with that, we have a Deathwatch victory by tabling. Pretty brutal. That went really to the side. Super efficient. Super efficient. When these guys get with the, I mean, the frag cannons are real good. They're real good. They cost 5 points, but they're real good. So it was they were super effective with a 5-man team, just like shredding me left and right, which is pretty good. I got 1 guy, but that's about it.
Pretty much all the frag cannons too.
Yeah. So what they'll do is, I'm sure they'll disguise all of the wounds to seem like Xenos wounds, to something on there. They'll scatter some Xenos blood on here, and then when the Dark Angels discover where their location is, they'll just assume that they've been killed by the Genestealer cult that they were trying to hunt. So that was a brutal game, but a ton of fun. I really love Kill Team. It's just really great time. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harris, and until next time, have fun.